You go through pain, stabbing like giant thorns every month to bleed roses. Your womb cycle in sync with moon cycles. You are mother of the galaxy. You birthed every star and named them one by one. They are your children scattered all over this universe. And on earth they call you a rock, imbokodo. Really, you would prefer something a little less impersonal, because what's a rock but a mere mute and immovable thing? Your femininity is marked by fluidity and dynamism. Yet again, it's okay. Ngoba kakade ngubani na idwala laphakade. Nguwe namfazi ojika amatye abezizonke batye abantwana bakuchiwa nguyise. You are the solid rock foundation upon which men who are God's curses and fallen from grace are laid, so they can stand tall and erect for society to eventually coin as dignified and principled. It is your spine that caved to hide their shame, and yet on a number of occasions except the 9th, they have acted like they don't remember your name. Your father traded it in for cows along with your crown. That's why it's so beautiful today to see you buying yourself out of slavery, to see you refusing to be anyone's backbone, refusing to be anyone's victim, demanding your flowers before the grave, parading your colors like peacock, shining your light directly at those who silenced your story and cast you as an understudy in their narrative. You hold the pen today, dripping all types of ink to retell and recolor yourself. You invite your daughters and sisters to share in the celebration of your homecoming back to self, of your rebirth, of going back to the womb to remember who you are and not what you have carried, lost, and endured. It's beautiful today to see you invite your daughters and sisters to share in the celebration of your homecoming, clad in colors of your softness, strength, creativity, and sass, declaring that the only hardship you will own from now on is that ordained by nature itself, not culture or tradition. It's beautiful today to see you welcoming sun all to yourself, watering yourself where you have poured out. Your long-awaited season of bloom is here, woman, and we love to see it. Here's to you. Telling us that snakes are equal with snakes and spirituality. Hello everyone. My name is Noma Wetu. My surname is Gamma, and I'm a poet who loves poetry, and I try to fit poetry into the normal, everyday, mundane, daily activities of my life, just to bring in a bit of color and a bit of hope and inspiration. Well, coming up with the theme, Izimbali zeZwe, it was an inspiration of like the coming of spring, and then wanting to sort of mix that up with a celebration of women, because in isiZulu we usually refer to women as Izimbali zeZwe. So it's basically bringing in celebration of flowers as what they are in nature, and also like of women for what they are in our lives, their beauty, their strength, their poison, and yeah, everything in between. Because usually when you say women, people think like, but then there's some wildflowers out there as well. So this is not just, when I say Izimbali zeZwe, I'm not thinking like even the wild ones, the poisonous ones, because we usually like box women into certain codes of femininity, but then femininity is like fluid and dynamic as sponge. And yeah, I'll try to bring that through with the poems I have for today as well. Thank you. Okay, my poem is titled Rain Queen. It's an ode to the Rain Queen, Umujaji Wabalubedu, whom I happened to read up about and was mind blown. So, yeah. Queen Muchachi Aye. Queen Muchachi Maker of rain, queen of the waters, queen whose water was the first to break for all fertility. You broke from the land, banished to rule over it and be its reward. In your mystery, you command the direction of clouds and control weather elements without an approval from scientists. The formerly educated could only marvel at your wonders, calling you storm, while others construed for you names in their history books degrading to your nature. Voodooist, witch, sorcerer, they pointed at you when you are queen, sacred among your people. You who swallowed the stone slit from a crocodile's stomach and burped showers of blessings for your people. Mother of the Zambezi and the Limpopo, mother of Utukela and Umgeni, you who twisted God's arm for your special powers to fortify a matrilineal dynasty and envy to kings and their sons. They traveled from far and wide to bow at your knees and plead blessings. Maker of rain, healer of our land, they said. You who negotiates us from drought into abundance, you who commands the one molecule that binds our existence, facilitates for our cleansing and rejoicing when we commune with earth and enjoy her fruits at harvest. Rain on, muchachi wa balubetu. Rain on, rain queen. Rain over your people, their land and their animals. Rain over the pure seed buried in our hearts and soil to sprout again. Rain over our land and bring it back to its owners. Muchachi wa balubetu. Nakohakazi mafungwache wendlu yakho, yina mama wemvula nezibusiso zayo. Rain on, rain queen. Rain on, muchachi wa balubetu. Siyakhuleka.
My name is Siyabonga Mthethwa, known as African Child. I'm here to perform my two pieces, and that's it. Izimbali zeZwe, I think it has to do with the respect to umuntu wesifazane. Like to cherish umuntu wesifazane. We are Izimbali zeZwe. We are like this because we're born. Yeah. So bayaqhakaza all the time. So I'm gonna be performing my two pieces today. I'm not gonna spoil the thing for you guys. So ngingitshela ukuthi amalanani. Yeah. This family, we embrace warmth in a house with bullet holes as ventilators. We are the first to witness the sunrise, and no one experiences winter like us. We're seated around a four-corner table with brainless bellies filled by the drawings of fried eggs and toasted bread on an empty plate. Candles don't light that much, and so we are convinced that there's something to feed on. Our taste buds have forgotten how it is to function, and I've told my bed stories of how a running empty tummy suffers from cramps, substituted hunger for thirst, and the following evening, we gather around that empty table again, press our hands together and say grace for the food our eyes are honored to capture and feed on. Washing the dishes couldn't be any ease in this house, and which family is more united like us? 4 siblings sleeping in a single bed, you hardly feel alone. I love this family. I glance on life, the novelist of my scars, living chapters of broken dreams and poverty, has us believing that we can build mansions with the silver we call walls. Our dreams are haunted by reality daily, so they fade with a navigating clock, making slow progress. I hate it when the sun makes its daily appearance, because it's just going to be another day of echo sounds in a breath. And that's white light that shines bright in the fridge. What is it shining for anyways? I know you've been trying your best, man. But I'm tired being a fish living in water, so mother, say bad. Dear crush, I stood in the balcony of my eyesight, searching for beauty, told by the heart to search within the soul. Love soaked pride in my kneecaps. Your voice is a victory song that awakens the heart rate. Time used fate as bait, caught emotions glowing for the physique of your smile from a distance. I reckon a maze of self-discovery within one another. Your beauty is like lightning, it sparks a light to a beautiful dream that spreads its wings during daylight. You're a decade ahead of beauty in time, I credit to pour your love. Structured bamboo, bending when the wind blows, I bring myself home. A fortune cookie mumbled a love song, luckily I knew the lyrics. Give me directions, for I wish to address the matters of the heart's destination dreamland. My heart is burning love, hold my hand, let's gather around the fire. Take a chance to watch the stars at night, naked, fully exposed for adventurous imagination. Make a toast, take a sip of life, exchanging enzymes. Hug loneliness to extinction. And before I finish writing this poem, I have to find this person I wrote it. So yeah, I'm out.
Sanibonani, igama lami nguNhlakanipho Knowledge Mbuse. I'm a poet writing both isiZulu and English. Yeah. I think it's celebrating women. Since we are coming from Women's Month, I think it's celebrating uqhakaza kwezinto kahle kahle. Sure. Yabo. I'm just using women because women now bayaqhakaza, yabo. So yeah, mina ngokwami ngibona ukuthi impethu when it comes to le shaniso isho, I mean isho qhamuka nje umuntu esifazane, yabo. Uthi nje mfethu since umuntu sakhula kule shandisi, yabo, poet.
Sure.
Angicabanga ukuthi mhlambe nama expectations amangako, yabo. So mina nje mfethu I'm just doing poetry and looking to grow and grow my audience kahle kahle, yabo. Okunye nokunye kuzongithola lapho, yabo. But here mina poetry I think ngiyenza ngothando lwayo. Yeah.
Sanipho Knowledge Nkosi, siyabonga futhi.
Sharp.
Ungusibongo zakhe. Umbongi ethi ngasibhala ehluleka incame ungunkondlo sihayi. Uqiniso okuyilona kuphela okunye amampunge ungubuza mina ngikutshela. Ungundaba. Ithi ngabankulu ingabisazekeka ihlula abasithuthayo isimanga sikahambo sibonela. Siqusaka. Uyikho konke okumenza phelele unguwena ngokugcwele uyisilenganiso sakhe kuphela. Ukumqhathanisa nokumfanekisela akaze kwamsebenzela unguphawu lokuhluka. Ungundlela yakhe. Ukwenza nobuyena kuyilokhu ongakaze kwababikho nasemadala Judeni ungumlando uyaqophela. I've been sitting and thinking, staring at an empty page in horizontal blues, waiting for that one line that will pass my mind and give me a perfect start to this poem I've been longing to write. Well, it did come, but an lightning flashlight too fast for me to keep it shine. I don't know what hit me, but it sparkled and faded as I began to write, leaving me wondering that maybe it was a shooting star and my mind was a target aimed at this time when I saw her face. As if I had made a wish when I closed my eyes to recover the pieces of what have exploded in my mind, blowing me away. And she did. Blew me away with that smile that blossoms as flowers to the excitement of butterflies dancing and the scent of my stomach each time I see her. My heartbeat just gets loud with love of great volume, distorting the sound of my voice when I try to make a conversation with her. I just mumble, but somehow able to recite a love poem in the language of the unknown, just a perfect piece for her. Because the ones that I've written before are like broken mirrors that fail to fully reflect her. Stars that twinkles like eyes in a blink when she could be the one that stirs. She does not shine in perches, every moment is hers, and the way I think about her every day and night, I believe she's both the sun and the moon in one, second to none. Light at the very end of my dark day, and what I begin the next day with, she's a dream for me to seek and realize. See, I don't mind making a mockery of myself for his sake while giving it a chase. She's worth the fate. See, I'd rather be the joke that tickles her funny bones than to be the reason why she sheds tears of her eggs when she cries out of laughter. Tears on her cheeks from her eyes are like heated ice melting water from a wine glass. I wonder what is left for it to grow when they hit the ground. She gives me happy feet, quaking my knees with a voice that is music. Created out of winds blowing and rivers flowing, I'm convinced that if she's not Mother Nature, then someone of her nature is when she speaks. It's like heavens are opening doors for me. Give him another chance to be pure again. I'm tempted to admit to every sin, but before I admit to anything, I just want to say this. Out of all the poems that have crossed my mind, she has proven to be the hardest one to write. With her, I've realized that there are truths about this life not shown to us because they are far beyond human understanding. So when I try to put her beauty in writing, those lines remind me of ancient history diluted in translation into false fiction, because sometimes writing about something great doesn't make it great. So I surrender my pen to her.
Sanibonani ekhaya, whoever's watching. My name is Mncedisi, street poet Dlamini, straight from Swaziland, currently based in Durban and in Shire e-poetry. Yeah. Izimbali zeZwe. I think the first thing that comes to mind is diversity. Would see umhlaba ingadi yabo, and we need to celebrate Unpacked, yabo, different colors, diversity and everything. So yeah, so that's why I'm here to celebrate women. Oh, Izimbali. Oh, nemchita ke lo imbali, go grand. Yeah. It's senseless senses, censored thought and silence, truth, poison souls. Food for thought is genetically modified. It dwarfs your imagination. Ever since religion and science fiction to the essence, the world was fractioned, fashioned, ignorance left people of color blind to the truth. Once kings and queens, dethroned by theories of an apple and evolving apes, drowning in the apex of the matrix. Look how they buried the umbilical cords of black children in biblical pages. It got me questioning things like, why doves nest on their chest that peace never reigns in their heart? See, they paved the path to Canaan with Canaan's swords and poisoned arrows. Scars and bones are road signs to the promised land. Child soldiers going against the heat until guns melt in their hands, fighting wars that conquered their forefathers. Blood carpeting street pavements, aborted babies aging in shallow graves. Yo, I emerged from the land of the submerged, the sunken eyes and sad faces weathered by tears, water taps, cough mud, CVs decomposed in brothers' hands. Suicidal notes on earth, writers. Rapists wear the innocence of the babies they deflower. Puppets on red carpet, seal deals to conceal ordeals. Fed by feds, mother at quakes, vomiting flames. Brown eyes, no pimples, chicks with dimples, smile that could tame the world. Beautiful young lass, round ass, never settled for less. We were in the same class, but when I proposed, she told me I was not in her class. She said, I don't have feelings for you. I told her, you have feelings for me. No feeling is a feeling itself. She was fascinated by those guys who drive fancy cars with personalized number plates. You know what I mean? But back home, kids don't have food on their plates. No, back home, Emily's mother has a scar on her neck. She never talks about it. Always has something on her neck to cover it. Freaks out when asked about it. Emily has never met her father. She always talks about how much she loves him and how much she's dying to meet him. But what she doesn't know is that her mother has been keeping a sacred secret from her. Her father is a rapist, doing time in prison. Raped her mother, stabbed her, left her for dead. Somehow she survived, and 9 months later she ushered her into the dying world. Will Emily continue to love him when she finds out? See, there was something about Emily's eyes. Her eyes were like a dam glistening with unshed tears. I would try to peep through the windows of her soul, but these unshed tears would curtain me from seeing the pain buried within. I should have known that. I should have known that Emily was just another victim of rape. Raped at church picnic, how sick is that? Now follow how her life turns tragic after matric. Passed with flying colors, couldn't go to university, enveloped by adversity, started bowling with hard knocks. Brothers who sold rocks, introduced her to crack, another line of fix, trying to fix her problems, but this fix couldn't fix shit. Lost herself in the hands of sugar daddies, and you know they sugarcoat their dirty deed with material things. She thought she was gold digging, should have known that she was actually the pure gold being dug. It all started with chocolate bars. Should have known that these chocolate bars would later become steel bars and forever cage her. This became her life now, until one day she met a brother dressed in an expensive suit. His pursuit was to make her a prostitute. A young girl destitute, Emily was gone. 5 years later, Emily has her own sports by the street robot, where even pastors pick her up to feed their lust on her. You see, hunger gives her the guts to face the fears that come with the night. Until one black starry night, she was standing by the robot. She saw 3 guys approaching. She called out to them, saw customers in them. They saw another victim in her. One of the guys pulled out a knife and pressed it against her ribs, dragged her into a ditch, gang raped her and stabbed her. Eyes wide open, but no life in them. Her body was found in the ditch. Some say she was a bitch, she deserved it. Emily, how do I break such news to her family? There was a knock on the door. Emily's mother opened. There stood 3 cops, and they told her to come and identify her daughter's corpse.